Hey guys, Cameron Smith here, creator of the Teardrop Project. Those Italians are some really cool guys, and to celebrate them, we're gonna cook some really great Italian sauce on the Cobb Grill. Thanks to Cobb Grill for sponsoring this episode. Pixie, take it away.
Hey there! Well, it's raining. So, I mean, I don't know about you, I know lots of people like soup, but I like to eat a ton of pasta when it's raining outside. So I'm gonna make some pasta sauce that you can put with pretty much any pasta you want. Giant match. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I love it. All right, so we're gonna disassemble the Cobb real quick. All right, gonna put our fire starter in there. Look at that! That's amazing. All right, got our fire starter going. Gonna put this little grate on top. And then I'm gonna grab some charcoals. 8 of those in there. I have to wash my hands after this. I usually do about 8. And then we wait about 10-15 minutes for it to heat up, and while we do that, we're gonna prep the vegetables. You just roughly chop it, because you're going to blend it later. This is literally just so it cooks quicker. I already chopped my onion earlier, and I did a little bit of a sneaky cheat, and I got my fresh basil already chopped. So don't really need to open the wine yet, but I'm going to, because that'll make it a bit easier whenever I go to assemble the sauce. A lot of people use wines that they wouldn't normally drink because they're like, it's going to be in something, like why would I waste the extra money getting a wine that I'm not going to want to drink, that I'm like, whatever, that I would want to drink normally. But if you buy wine that's something you would drink, you know it's going to taste better just because it's better tasting. I normally measure my wine in glasses. That's about how much wine I'm going to put in the recipe. Fun fact, if you put your garlic in at the beginning of your recipe, it's going to have a really mild flavour because it cooks off while you're cooking. So if you want it to be like extra garlicky, you can put it in at the end, and then it'll taste a lot more garlicky because it hasn't got time to burn off and cook off. Okay, so then you're going to put your cooktop on here, using your fancy prong things, and I'm going to stick the wok on top. So, nice big old splash of olive oil. So I test it by putting a little bit of wine in there, and when it starts bubbling, ooh, pretty. When it starts bubbling real good, that means it's hot enough to put your onions in. Alright, so we're going to sweat down these onions. Handy dandy spoon. And you're going to just leave these on, stirring occasionally until they get a little bit softer. Alright, so now I'm going to add the I'm going to add the wine, which is my favourite step because I love red wine. It looks like fruit punch right now, but like a really gross fruit punch. Okay, gonna add these tomatoes in. And I didn't spill any, so I mean, we're gonna do a nice big fat pinch of basil. Another bit. This is my favorite bit, so I like to add as much as I'm allowed without people being like, what's wrong with you? Alright, so at this point you can also add some dried out oregano or some garlic powder if you wanted to use that instead of the garlic paste. But I like just plain and simple, use a little bit of basil. Alright, I'm going to put the lid on there and let it sit for about 10-20 minutes. Just until the tomatoes are nice and squishy. Add some pepper and a little bit of salt with our lovely teardrop shaker. Okay, so we're about 5 minutes before the end. All the tomatoes are starting to get real nice and mushy. So I'm going to add some of this garlic paste. So that's about a clove and a half worth. What's really good actually, and what I didn't do today, is if you take your bulbs of garlic and you actually roast them first. I didn't do that today because I wasn't sure how long I was going to have to film, but it's really good if you roast your garlic first. And then you just wait another 5 minutes. And yeah, I mean obviously you can wait a little bit longer if you want to. It really is just kind of up to you. Right, so now the final step is just to blend it. Some of the tomatoes might not be completely squishy like the ones that I showed you a second ago, but as long as like 50% are, you're good. And then we're gonna just scoop the chunky bits into the blender. As so.
Little boy, open the top.
And then we're gonna pour the sauce in there. Now I find if you pour it towards yourself, it normally pours a little better than if you're trying to pour away from yourself. Do you want to get a shot of this from the side or something? All those delicious onion things in there. I'm gonna scrape all the stuff off there. Do not feed this to dogs. Dogs hate onions because it makes them die. I love that the onions go like that really pretty, like purple colour because of the wine. Ready?
Yeah.
Pasta sauce. All right. So what's a really good idea is to put your pasta in here at this point and then put it back on the stove like this, because the starch from the pasta thickens it a little bit. You can also use a bit of cornstarch, but I like to just let the pasta starch thicken it up a little bit. Okay, and then this will thicken it up because the pasta's starch. And in about 4 minutes, we'll have delicious, yummy veggie ravioli in a homemade pasta sauce.
Cooked on the Cobb grill.
Cooked on the Cobb grill. Man, that looks good.